The Coastal Empire is home to thousands of American heroes, men and women who put their lives on the line time and time again.
Some don't ever come home, making the ultimate sacrifice. Others come home, but are wounded by war. In a 3 on Your Side special report, News 3's Alice Massimi introduces us to one of the severely wounded.
Well, Tina and Russ, Corey Remsburg is perhaps one of the most driven, dedicated, and inspirational people I've ever met. Motivated by a love for his country, Corey is beating the odds one day at a time.
He just loved life, and he was always swimming and running and doing all the things that made his life very full.
Growing up in Indianapolis with his dad Craig and stepmom Annie, Corey Remsburg was a happy-go-lucky guy, a hard worker, but also a kid who liked to have fun.
We always called him our wild child because if you told Corey he couldn't do something, that was what he was going to do.
Which is perhaps where Corey's desire to join the Army came from, a decision made even before his high school graduation.
At 17, Corey went to his dad and said, "I want to go into the military and I want you to sign for me."
But Dad wanted Corey to give college a chance first. And he did, till the morning of his 18th birthday.
Our doorbell rang about 5:30 in the morning, and Corey went bounding down the stairs, and my husband and I are waking up, and the recruiter came through the door.
Before Corey knew it, he was headed to Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training. It was here Corey learned about the U.S. Army Rangers, the Army's elite infantry unit.
When you challenge my son, he will give it everything he's got.
So it was no surprise when Corey made it through the rigors of Ranger School and was assigned to the 1st Battalion 75th Ranger Regiment at Hunter Army Airfield. Stationed at Hunter for close to 9 years, Corey would spend much of it overseas, deploying 10 times.
I placed it in God's hands. I respect what my children wanted to do. I admired what they did.
On October 1st, Annie's world came crashing down.
They said, "Ann, you have an emergency call." And Craig's words were, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes." And then I said, "It's Corey." He said, "Yeah."
Returning from a mission, an IED went off. It killed Sergeant Roberto Sanchez and injured several others, including Corey, who was thrown into a canal.
When they pulled him out of the canal, even one of his best friends who pulled him out told us when he got Corey out of his uniform, he thought he was saying goodbye to him.
When they found him, the actual blast itself tore one side of his head off, basically, as well as caused multiple trauma to his face, to the rest of his body, including burns and other things.
They did not give us a lot of hope. They said basically that he was in critical condition. That's all we kept being told, was critical condition, not sure. And then when they started saying the family should be flown out to be by his bedside, that's not a good thing.
Fighting infection and growing pressure in his brain, Corey's condition was touch and go.
I prayed really hard, as we all did. And we never left his side 24/7. There were 5 of us over there, and we took shifts.
3 brain surgeries later, Corey was stable enough to fly to the States.
During that flight, he also had problems with the pressure in his brain increase. He had his temperature went up. You know, he had some critical ailments during that flight, so that when he landed in Washington, they immediately took him by ambulance right to the hospital, right to intensive care.
He was home and his condition did stabilize, but Corey Remsburg was still in a coma. In November, Corey came here to the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital in Tampa. But it wouldn't be until January till Corey emerged from his coma.
It's not like Hollywood. They don't just wake up and go, "Oh, I'm out of my coma." It's like such a long process.
But the family stayed positive, grateful their son was alive.
God has a plan for him. That's why he's here.
I don't remember much.
A Really is an amazing story and a miracle that Corey survived, but he still has a long road ahead of him, Alice.
He does, and this accident happened in October of last year. So you saw just a little clip there, and you'll see more tomorrow of how far Corey has come from being in a coma. He pretty much has to learn how to do everything all over again, from walking to talking. And tomorrow night we'll take you through his rigorous day of rehab and what kind of is in the future for Corey Remsburg.
Very touching, powerful story.
It is.
Thank you, Alice.